What Happens Next by Linda Light.
It's Linda Light, and I'm going to be reading something to you guys. So don't mind me. What is your perception right now about our world? Are you seeing it with eyes wide open or through rose-colored glasses? How do you even know if what you're seeing is the truth or if you're being lied to again? These are questions worth digging into, but not for the faint of heart. These questions can trigger even the most practiced among us, and I'll explain why. When you begin to see how corrupt our world has been, you also begin to wonder if you'll ever see a change, or if there is ever meant to be a change so great that nobody can deny the truth standing right in front of them. Then you remember how many times you've been lied to before, and you sink back down into that state, wondering if things will ever get better. Like I said, not for the faint of heart. How can things be so bad in our world and yet so perfectly divided? This question is worth asking, but I should warn you to be skeptical in your research and deep dives because there's a tremendous amount of disinformation out there. It's incredible. In fact, one could argue that the disinformation campaigns were designed to do exactly that, divide humanity. Suppose they won that battle. Humanity is completely divided in so many ways, it's mind-boggling. At times, as an optimist, as optimistic as I can be, I don't see humanity making that quantum leap. And I don't see it because their actions speak louder than their words. You can say all you want about wanting world peace and being kind and having compassion for one another, but truth be told, most people who know someone is suffering or in need of help will not take the extra steps to help the one who is suffering. Instead, they quote fancy New Age jargons representing that taking care of themselves is more of a selfless act, yet they know not what that truly entails. They know not of the selfless mission for which they claim to embark on. I have fallen for this too. How do you know if it's an authentic mission or horse malarkey of endless mazes? It's easy. By the actions of the speaker or teacher or guru or preacher or mentor. Is their fruit good? If you are either jealous or envious even a little, then that's not a fair judgment of whether or not the fruit is good now, is it? Please remember, everyone has to experience lessons, so stop expecting perfection. Those on the mission will do that enough for themselves, often to their own detriment, it would seem. Many have this true mission, and the conditioning of people all around them is to take advantage of the weaker link or get what you can from those willing to give. And if they're giving it, it's not stealing, so I'm not doing anything wrong. Hey, they opened their heart, their home, their love, their trust. It's not my fault. I now use them as cannon fodder because I don't want to get caught being a fraud. So they go under the bus at my expense because it's everyone for themselves out here in this dog eat dog world, right? We are all one, they shout. They also shout that equality and justice for all is what they care about. And boy, oh boy, did they get a lot of us, didn't they? They used our missions and our mantras against us. They know who we are. And they've already turned the mobs against us before some of us could even open our eyes. We go on because that is who we are. We go on because whatever plays out, we already knew it before arriving here. We've been down this road before, and we will not allow the poison of fear and hate in our hearts, no matter what. Only you know your vessel's needs via teleplication, which is communication and telepathy, because it's communicated directly to you. However, it's always a good initiative on your part to make sure you have enough energy for yourself before helping or serving others. Often you'll come to know the best service to others is to just let them be. Just walk away and let them learn through their own suffering how to swim. Otherwise, what service did you actually do for them? You just took away their right to learn for themselves, no? Keep that in mind. I was previously speaking more in terms of knowing someone's needs something that you have, but you cling to it because of your fear of not having enough for yourself. Are you listening? You get to a point where you know your energy is self-sustaining and everlasting. When you get to this understanding, it doesn't mean people cannot still try to steal your energy. It doesn't mean you will never give away more than you should, but that is solely your decision when you master your own energetic fields and divisions, which is where you are located physically. Isn't that all relative anyway? How many times have you woken up to feel a major shift took place and that was not the way you were expecting things to go? In fact, haven't you woken up from a night's sleep recently to be really pissed off knowing something isn't going according to the peaceful and divine plan? Has anyone else experienced this recently? If so, then you are most likely on the mission as well, whether you know it or not. When this occurs, you quickly become aware that evil has taken another step to change the true timeline yet again. They made a move and it completely shifted the outcome, which allows for the golden age of peace on earth and all the good things we've been working towards to manifest as quickly as possible. They're trying to delay it yet once again. Did we really think this would be easy and we could just sit back and let it happen? Perhaps that's what they want you to believe, so you'll do nothing. Doing nothing means you aren't actively creating what you can to manifest in this world the peace and love that you desire. Action is required. And when you just sit and do nothing, you are like the person who receives gold from their father only to bury it, thinking that you're keeping it safe. What a disappointment. This entire experience has become a huge disappointment, one after the next. I can't even keep count at this point because it actually makes my soul cry. It hurts so bad. And I know my power. So when my soul cries, everyone can feel it and is affected by it. I've been disappointed on a continuous basis most recently. And that means for almost 3 years when I say recently. People have continuously surprised me by their actions and lack of actions. I'm definitely not perfect, but I can say that I do what I say I will do. This doesn't mean I can't change my mind, but I have shown dependability to say the least. My actions speak louder than my words, and my words can be pretty strong and direct at times as well. I'm learning how to use my words very carefully because of the power that they hold. I'm also learning how to unleash that power in full force when someone or something deserves my judgments. When is this okay? Well, I spent a lifetime trying to figure that one out. I was conditioned to believe that only God does the judging. Fair enough for children. However, this is the most disempowering thing that I have come to understand in my own life. You're being told and sold that your opinion isn't allowed, worth it, good enough, or valid because you're not allowed to judge and you have no rights to do so. Perhaps judgments don't have a place the higher up you go. Perhaps there is less and less thoughts as you ascend. Personally, I've been experiencing longer and longer periods of no thought, just flow. And it's incredibly comfortable like that. However, without judgments, we are doomed to allow malicious people to walk all over us. I consider judgment to be an evolved place of wisdom and grace whereby you get to decide for your own self what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in your life. If you aren't allowed to make judgments, how would you ever be able to make a decision based on people's actions who have previously deceived or hurt you? Let's not even mention your gut instincts, or rather your intuition. Just give everyone a second and a third and a fourth chance. Okay. I was in that camp too, until recently when I learned that fire can sometimes really burn bad and knives can make your murder very painful when stabbed right in the middle of your back. I gave out a lot of second chances. I was willing to turn the other cheek most of my life. I thought my love and compassion would help. Sometimes it didn't help, and with those people, it never will. Liars and manipulators who are chronic and compulsive will always be that way. Steer far, far away and don't make the same mistakes I did unless you need that experience to really finally realize that you can't help those people who say one thing and then do another. Actions speak louder than words. So after we accept that judgments are a part of self-empowerment, we come to a place of adulting, as one may call it. You not only get to judge what's good and not good in your life, but you're also judged by others. You are also judged by others. Your behavior is what makes up the short list of criteria. Your behavior. So let's get that one straight. Your behavior consists of how you act, what you say, what you do, your actions, and yes, your thoughts generate energy and are therefore also considered actions. But let's not get into that one right now. When you speak lies about another person, for whatever reason, when you call another person names that are hurtful, when you slander people and spread false ideas about something that you don't want to take full responsibility for, you will undoubtedly project your crap onto them. What part of that's true within yourself doesn't make sense? Eventually, you'll have enough. When enough is enough, you'll be promptly removing people from your life. Perhaps not everyone will take such drastic actions or require such drastic measures, but when you make a decision to take full responsibility for your life and you don't have any room to allow others to keep taking advantage of you, no matter what or who they are in your life, you just reach a breaking point. Shit's got to change, and change starts with me, with you. As we watch our world changing so fast and we sit and we wait to see who the next president of the United States will be, we wonder if what they tell us will be truthful or not. Just a quick note here. This was actually written on November the 4th. So I'm just going to read it as it was written in my blog. But I will say this, not to digress from the message. I'll get right back to it. This is just a little addendum here. We now know that Nevada had 125% turnout. Pennsylvania had 109% turnout. Minnesota 107, North Carolina 106, Wisconsin 105, Michigan 105, Arizona 101. So these states that were not called at the end, the ones that took the extra time, oh, they have to count the votes. These states all had more than 100% voter turnout. So something's going on there. And all right, let me just keep reading. I'll get right back to the message here. I'm not going to state my opinion. I'm staying detached, but I'm going to read the message here. So it's obvious that mail-in votes are just about 100% for Biden. So if that doesn't raise your eyebrows for fraud, then I don't know what will. We've already seen people buying votes from other people for between $500 and $800 per vote. Project Veritas exposed that with hidden cameras and whistleblowers. You didn't see that? I wonder why. And they got shadow banned on social media as part of damage control. I saw the undercover videos, and they're very real indeed. This is not a made-up claim or fake news. If your hatred for another is so strong that you can't see what they're trying to do, then I don't know what will wake you up in time. And perhaps humanity doesn't deserve to be uplifted if this is allowed to happen. I've come to a place now where I'm not attaching my emotions to any outcome, including this election. I'm still here, motherfuckers. And I don't need to convince anyone of what I may or may not believe in. I'm done with that chapter of my life. If the news pronounces Biden the winner, and we know that they did now, and there's no fraud, then we all need to accept this outcome. But if there was fraud or proof of a group trying to steal this election, then it's not over till our courts have ruled, period. If the courts rule that there was fraud, we must accept this. If the courts rule that there was no fraud, then we must also accept this outcome. Allowing the news or the storytellers to declare a winner when there are issues of voter fraud, then you're not even considering the possibility of a spin or a flat out steal. Have you turned a blind eye to what can actually be happening? Perhaps watch the Hunger Games to see the nature of the beast here. And if you know already, because you were a part of doing whatever it takes to get him out of office, then shame on you. We must all endure this time as whatever will be, will be. We must not call each other names for what we think the other believes, because doesn't everyone down deep down deep inside want peace, love, and joy in their lives and happiness? No, you say? Some don't want that? Some just want money? Well, that's obvious. But they're not the majority. And even when you see a completely split nation, the narrative playing out doesn't always reflect the truth. Just remember that. Think of the man behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. Was he being honest, representing himself to the people of Emerald City? He was not the majority. He was one man. The truth will always come out at some point. And let's all just continue to hope, pray, and visualize that time is now. We will need more patience than ever before to see how this all plays out. Now, I wrote that on the 4th, or published on the 4th to my blog site, on my website. And I wanted to read that to you guys because now we do know that the news is proclaiming Biden as the winner. And we know that there's lawsuits claiming fraud in various states, like the ones that I named, that have more than 100% turnout. So if you're very, very upset about what's going on, or you think, that you're going to go along with this because, oh, the news proclaimed him the winner, all the votes have been counted. Okay, so, I'm not a rocket scientist, and I'm not a brain surgeon, or, I'm nothing like that. But I'm not a math genius, but I can still do basic math. And when you have more than 100% voters turning out in the states that are in question, at least a half a dozen states now have more than 100%. That's got to tell you there's something going on. And they also have put watermarks on these ballots. And so the ones that were, generated out of fraud will be found and disregarded. So we have to wait and see what comes out. And if it does take going to the Supreme Court, and it's going to be, the whole nation is going to be watching, if we don't get our president, by mid-January, when we have the inauguration, the normal passing of whatever, just try to stay unplugged from the news. The news is telling you a story and spinning a narrative that they want. It's pretty obvious. But if there's no fraud, if that's not going on, and the courts rule in favor of Biden after seeing the evidence, then we must accept what the outcome is. The same way we must accept the outcome if Trump is still in office. We may not like this, but it's showing us our system is broken and it needs to be fixed. That's what it's showing us. It's showing us the ugliest of the uglies. And if you feel like anything to get him out of office, you're sacrificing your integrity. If you're willing to lie, steal, and cheat to get what you want, you're sacrificing your integrity. So, with that being said, I'm doing my best to stay in the sacred middle ground. Whatever will be, will be. It's not up to me to change this outcome. All I can do is, sit with myself and the collective and be okay with whatever's going to play out. And when I do my meditations and I convene with the collective and I convene with my higher selves, I'm just asking for the patience and the love and the compassion that I need to have down here in this body so that I can do my job, get information out, being unbiased. I know my viewpoints come across sometimes, and sometimes I will tell you exactly like it is. Other times I try to stay in the sacred middle because that's where I'm at. That's what I'm trying to ascend to in my own life. I'm trying to aspire to be a little bit better today than I was yesterday. We all make mistakes. We're in a human body, but we're trying to do this together and we're trying to do it right. We don't want to build a new foundation that's based on lies. That's bad. That's wrong. We should know that. We're not in kindergarten anymore, guys. We know that lying, stealing, and cheating is wrong. We also know that name calling and bullying and projecting is wrong as well. So knock that shit off. If you're doing that, knock it off. We're coming to a place now where we're going to be transitioning into a golden age. It can be delayed only to a certain point. And it has been delayed right down to the last, I want to say second, but right down to the last minute here, guys. There's delay after delay, but it doesn't mean there isn't a plan, and it doesn't mean that truth and honesty and integrity will prevail. And if there are criminals in the highest offices in the world, they will be held accountable. and we will get the truth. So just hang in there for the truth. Hang in there for it. And if you have the truth, spit it out. Get it out there. Share your message. It's time. It's time. Regardless of who's getting censored and who's getting shadow banned, just get your message out there the best that you can, without name calling, without judgments. You have a story to share, you see something going on, it's time to get that out. Tell the truth. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back again soon. Love you.